Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple, your no shit gaming news video. That's 3 news stories in one video with zero faff. Everyone knows that EA cannot be trusted. Every now and then it releases a decent game and wins a bit of faith, but it's never long before the next shitty thing comes out. FIFA 2021 is due for release a week from today and will undoubtedly earn loads of money in sales and through its ultimate team gambling mechanics. We've all heard that spiel before about how gambling should not be in video games, especially those that are meant for kids, but clearly EA still isn't getting the message.
Didn't you get the memo?
Adverts for FIFA's microtransaction currency are now being advertised in kids' toy magazines. If you want to have some fun on a drizzly Tuesday afternoon, follow the link to this tweet in the description and see the dipshits defending this bollocks. The ad was featured in Smith's Toys magazine, which is specifically targeted at children. FIFA Points is the currency used for the game's Ultimate Team mode, which allows users to purchase player packs which randomly award players with different gameplay affecting stats, making the game pay to win. FIFA Ultimate Team is bad enough for ruining the gameplay experience for anyone who just wants to enjoy a football game, but the situation is made even worse by the fact that this is marketed as a kid-friendly game. The game literally has the lowest age rating available in the UK at 3+. I mean, I'd be surprised if any 3-year-old is smart enough to navigate the game menu and buy FIFA points deliberately, but I could see them pressing buttons randomly and doing it by accident. And then when kids are a little more tech savvy, especially in this modern world, that's when the extensive spending begins, which may lead to a gambling addiction down the line. The studies on that are still a bit inconclusive and more research needs to be done, but I'm willing to bet that it is the case. We've all heard the stories about how people get addicted to Ultimate Team and end up spending thousands on the game. This is normalizing in-game purchases at a very, very young age and is totally unethical. The image in the magazine specifically describes the process in steps to get it into the reader's head that this is how the game is played, that you can only play it if you pay for these packs. The worst part is that this is nothing new. I even thought about titling the video EA sinks to a new low, but it's really not new and is just the latest tactic by EA to be the worst company in gaming. Of course, we all know why EA keeps pulling this crap.
Money, money, money.
The Ultimate Team mode is available in FIFA, Madden, and NHL and has generated $1.5 billion in the last fiscal year alone. But it's still never enough. They need to directly advertise to kids and it's utterly despicable. How is this not gambling? And how is it okay that a game like this can be played by 3-year-olds? Last week I reported that the UK government is asking for evidence of loot boxes, so please go and report this if you live here. There's a link to it in the description. A German pro FIFA player even slammed FIFA Points recently as he said you should never have an advantage just for playing. The sooner more esports players and YouTubers stop endorsing this shit and selling it to their young viewers, the sooner it will all stop. But we all know that's never going to happen and the game will still sell millions. I'm not even going to waste my time telling you to boycott it because I'm preaching to the choir and we all know it's just going to keep happening. And next up, it was recently announced that Microsoft bought ZeniMax, the owners of Bethesda, for a staggering $7.5 billion. That left a massive question mark over the fate of various IPs like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, and Wolfenstein, and whether future entries will be exclusive to the Xbox. The founder of Bethesda, Christopher Weaver, recently spoke with Inverse about the situation, and it doesn't sound like good news for Sony fans. One quote summed everything up very succinctly: "What Microsoft owns, Sony cannot get." Now, of course, that's not an overt confirmation that all Bethesda titles in the future will skip out on Sony consoles, but it certainly speaks to the mindset of how Bethesda will be doing business going forward. The interview ended with Weaver saying, "If the strategy works, it will be a brilliant counter-move against Sony. Users from around the world will be the ultimate beneficiaries of this deal. I wish them well." More specifically, Xbox users will be the ultimate beneficiaries. With regards to the future of Bethesda under the Microsoft banner, Weaver suggests that Bethesda will be able to operate fairly independently as it has before. "My understanding is that Microsoft respects Bethesda's 34 years of proven ability to produce quality software and has promised to let Bethesda be Bethesda." The interview as a whole is a bit of an odd read because it's all just corporate PR spin, so you never get a straight answer from a straight question. Many people won't be happy with this, and I totally understand why, as exclusives are very annoying if you don't have the right device. Microsoft first-party games like Halo or Gears are funded by Microsoft, just like Sony funds titles like God of War and The Last of Us, which is why those games are exclusive to their respective platforms. This situation, while not exactly the same, is more similar to what Epic Games has been doing and securing exclusivity with games that were previously multi-platform after the fact. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that exclusivity is the worst thing in gaming or how it leads to amazing games, because that's up for you to decide, and we all know there's no room for nuance on the internet. Realistically, it is a bit of both. Incredible exclusives like God of War probably wouldn't be as good if they weren't exclusive, because Sony pumps so much money into them so that they are console sellers. The game wouldn't have got as much funding, therefore likely wouldn't be as good if it would gone multi-platform. Of course, you don't need billions from Sony to make incredible games, and sometimes even with all that cash they can still suck, but you see my point. It's not great for the general consumer, but it's really great for PlayStation owners. Just like this exclusivity isn't good for Sony, but it's really great for Xbox players. The best thing to come out of a Bethesda exclusivity deal is that Microsoft can now throw more money at these studios than they would have without Microsoft. Really though, we just have to wait and see. If Elder Scrolls 6 is a better game because of exclusivity, then I think it's worth it. Personally, I'd rather have better games on fewer platforms than shittier ones on everything. It absolutely sucks for PlayStation fans, but what can you do? Though there's no guarantee that it will be a good game, and let's be honest, we'll get flying cars before Elder Scrolls 6 ever comes out. And next up, if any of you remember the early days of Facebook, one of the dominant apps on the platform was a little game called Farmville. Even if you didn't play the game when it launched in 2009, you'd still be inundated with friend requests from every half-wit who added you on Facebook. Naturally, being the total edgelord that I was as a teenager, I steered well clear of that shit, but 11 years later the game is finally shutting down. On the very last day of 2020, the game servers will be shut down for good and Farmville will be no more. Honestly, I don't feel an iota of sadness about this, but I know many people who played the game religiously, and some of you may be among them. Farmville had its boom when it first launched, but swiftly fell off the radar. At its peak in 2010, it accrued 83.76 million monthly users. By 2012, it was the 7th most popular game on Facebook, but that fell way down in 2016 to 110th. This game means absolutely nothing to me, but I know it was a huge deal at one point in time, so if any of you were a fan, you've got until December 31st to play it before it's gone for good. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost, hit subscribe and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all future installments, toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. That's all for today. I've been Henry Cooper, bye for now.